Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Blacknog, back again once again with a new video. I'm going to be talking about, keep running away, ReZero, the web novel, Arc 6, but I want to be talking, like, I haven't finished it, I'm still in it, like, I only made it to, like, chapter, like, 29, 30, something like that. I don't remember the exact chapter, but basically it's up to where they're doing the second trial. They haven't completed, well, Amelia has completed the second trial, but the rest haven't completed the second trial. And that's what, dude, it's like, this arc is like the first beginning part of this arc was so boring, and I did not like this arc, and I was kind of getting bored of it. But then, like, once we got to the tower, like once we actually got to the tower, that's when it was like, okay, this is pretty good. Because like we immediately get introduced to Shola, and it's like, who's Shola? Well, we thought she was the sage, but she's not the sage. And you know what? Who does she keep calling master? Subaru. Why? Because she thinks that Subaru is her master, Flugel the Sage, which has so many implications that it's insane, and so many fan theories are probably going to come from this, and probably have, because this is like we're on Arc 7 now, but this Arc 6 is kind of old, but it's so cool. And then we go into this tower, and there's like trials just like the witch's graveyard, and they kind of act in the same way. They talk in your mind with like your voice kind of in the same way. uh the other trial, the three trials from the witch's graveyard, and there's three trials for this particular tower, so they can basically try to find the information to basically reverse the effects of Gluttony's the Sin Archbishop's Gluttony's like ability to basically take away memories and names, so they can basically help um, Joshua, Julius's brother, because he's basically just like Rem now. So it's like Rem and Joshua are basically name and memories taken, and then uh, Julius's name is taken. So like everyone forgets who he is, but he still has his memories. Um, and then the same thing with uh, you know probably gonna help out Echidna, Anna Hosha. It's like whatever situation going on with her. I'm pretty sure that that's they're also there to try to figure that out too. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but basically mainly for the gluttony shit. But we get in, we get so much information like Shola and like this kind of like world history. The flugel tree that fell over on the white whale, that was like planted by apparently by Flugel, which was cool. So like Subaru, and if it is Subaru, then it means it's like then Subaru would have to go back in time, because Shola has been here for 400 years, and the 400-year timeline keeps popping up in like everything. So it's like the witches like died 400 years ago or something like that. You know, Beatrice is made like 400 years ago. Shala was 400 years ago. Uh, they fought like there was like the heroes like fought. It was like Flugel and the first Sword Saint and like the dragon or whatever fought. I'm pretty sure like Satella or something like that, or something like that. I don't know, but we do the first trial, which is like, so we know that at least like Flugel has to be from Japan or Earth in general, from our world, because the first trial, the only way you can complete that trial is if you have knowledge from our world, because the constellations in the ReZero world are different than ours. So like whenever they were doing it, there was like these monoliths, and if you look up from the sky, it looks like the Orion constellation, and it's like, so Subaru was able to like solve the puzzle because he knew the constellations, and no one else was able to solve it because he was out for a couple of days and they were trying to figure it out and they couldn't, and then Subaru figures it out because he has this information, which is like this interesting thing where like there's not just Subaru in this world, who is just from Japan. There's like other people, and most likely this Flugel character is from Earth or Japan or whatever. So that was interesting. But the other thing, the main interesting thing that I've seen is like when we get to like the second trial, we meet this guy, this stick swinger, and apparently we learned that Julius immediately recognized who he was, but the rest didn't know. And Julius was like, fought him, and he got knocked out one night, and then they were trying to figure out who it was, and they figured out who it was eventually with Shola's help and whatnot, and the rest of them. Um, and that's like or Reed Van Strea, which is like the first sword saint. So he's basically or not a descendant, but like an ancestor of Reinhardt, which was like really cool. And he's like this. He's kind of he's like super strong because like Shola is like probably one of the strongest people like we've met. Like one of these, like definitely in the top echelons of people alive right now that we know like that are strong. And she was like so scared of Reed that she like passed out when she saw him. Um, and then like I don't know like necessarily what the exact trial was supposed to be, but like he basically woke himself up because he was like, kind of in this robotic state, but he like woke himself up to be a part of this trial, and basically he was like fucking with him and he beat up Julius like super with a pair of chopsticks, which was funny. And then it was like Amelia being like I don't know. I this whole second trial with Amelia just I made me like her character a lot more for some reason. And it was just like I'm like I don't know. I was kind of just smiling when I was reading this. Like damn, dude. Um, but then she was like, I was like, okay, well, you're super strong and I can't beat you. So how about how about like, if you stand still and if I make you take one step, then I win. And then he's just like, he's just, everyone's like, whoa, like, he's never going to agree to this, dude. That's like, why would you even bring that up? Why would you even ask that? Like, that's so stupid. They're like, that's what they're like, seems like they were thinking. And he's just like, all right, okay, sure, bet, I'll do that. I'll still win, you know. And he's like, you know, he's got this air of confidence, you know. Uh, and then like this happens. That she ends up beating him, but it was like because of his personality, and she's a female, kind of messed him up or whatnot. And he ends up like grabbing her boob or something, and then he ends up getting like hit with like a bunch of icicle weapons and stuff like that, and he ends up taking a step, but and she ends up passing the trial, and then Reed is like, okay, yeah, she passed the trial, not all of you, like. And then Subaru's kind of like being Subaru, and he's just like, it's like, oh well, I figured out the first trial, and then like everyone passed, so it's like, one of us, and Amelia said, uh if I'm able to make you take one step, then we pass. And then it's like, he's like, well, you know what, dude, I don't care. She passed. None of you guys passed, and it's like you gotta make me take one step. And it was like in terms of like power scaling for the group without Shola. Amelia probably is the strongest. If Julia is like doesn't have like spirits or whatnot. So it's like they're basically like they caught him off guard and he wasn't like taking it seriously, and they basically put in their best fighter uh, for round one. So it's like she won, but like now he's on guard, and none of them else are even comparable. And they were talking about trying to get him to let Subra and Beatrice do a 2v1 because they're basically basically spirit and spirit user, So maybe they'll let them, probably. So I'm guessing. So I'm just curious how like the rest of the group will get past him. Um, and honestly, Subaru, in terms of getting in when they got into the tower, Subaru hasn't died in the tower yet. So it's like, um, I'm kind of curious to see how they die. But the other thing is like I wanted to talk about was like, um, and this is probably a lot more like, important wise, is like the after we cleared the first trial, we get access to the first library. So every trial you beat, you get access to a new library. um and the first trial library ends up being like all the books are just books of people who have died. And like whenever if you like it seems like if you know that person, or you've ever met that person in like real life, like not just like someone telling you about them or saying their name or something like that, like you have to like actually have met them in person sometime in your life. And since Subaru has met the witches in the trial at the graveyard, he when he touched the book and he touched Typhon's book, and she's the Witch of Pride, and he kind of gets like a quick like summary bit of like her like backstory, her life before, um, which was interesting. And then we get it for, I haven't got it for all of them, but we're probably gonna get more, um, as the arc progresses, because I'm pretty sure we've gotten, I've seen, or I've read Typhon's, the Pride, um, Wrath, I think, Sloth, maybe Lust. I don't know. I think of like three or four of them, but it's super interesting to be honest. Um, like there is like a small uh, smidge of like their backstory, I guess, and I don't know if we're ever gonna get more or like full in detail, but like they're interesting. Because a lot of times like they're not like necessarily like bad people, but the way it portrays them as a very, very evil people in terms of people view of the witches. And I think most people don't even know that there's well, they only think there's only like Satella, like that one witch. Like they don't think I don't think people realize that there's other witches in this world. And there's not even just seven witches because I'm pretty sure there's like the seven, the seven sins, they're the witches, but then there's also the that whatever Pandora is, she's also a witch. I'm pretty sure. So she's like, there's like eight of them. But that was cool. We get a little bit of history on that. But then I also read the I don't remember the name of it, but it's like the that if story where it's like um I know it's spoiled a little bit, but like Super basically just dies, and he lost his memory, and he basically he's like, all right, well, I want to be the me that you guys like, and he kind of goes crazy, and he starts, he kills his friends and stuff like that, so he can read his book. So then he's gonna kill himself because he gets reset. We're all back alive again. So that he has all the knowledge of their, of their time together from reading their books because they're dead, and he goes around and just killing everyone with Shola, which was really really dark and really interesting. And this whole time, Reinhardt's like following them throughout Laguna, trying to catch them and stuff like that, which was really interesting. I thought that was cool. The if stories are really cool, and I like them. Um, I haven't read like all of them, obviously, because I feel like some of them are probably spoilers. But um, I read that one because it was like around that area where I am right now. But honestly, so far, the beginning part of arc 6. I don't know, I was about to say 5. Arc 6 is the beginning part was really boring. I did not like it. But once we actually got to the tower, it was really good. And I think so far, ever since we got to the tower, it's just been like really good, interesting chapters one after another. And I kind of feel like if it keeps going like this, it's definitely going to be one of my favorite arcs so far. So that's basically my thoughts so far. I might end up making up a new video, but I'm a pretty slow reader, so it'll probably be a while before I make another ReZero video talking about the web novel. But it is what it is. If you liked, like, comment, subscribe, all that, and have a nice day.